Any one of you knows what is mental health? Anyone, any volunteer? So in short, mental health is the overall well-being of our psychological health, our emotional health, and as well as our social health. In mental health aspect, social health is also very important. The way you communicate with people, the way you build relationships with people, the way you are able to form any kind of relationships, be it friendship, romantic relationships, your parent to children relationship, anything. Those includes the social health. So mental health is not just about the psychological health, but emotional and social, right? We have all heard all through our life that mental means pagala. And when we speak about mental health, people mostly think that we are going to speak about people who are ill. But mental health is really different. Mental health illness are those comes under the category of, people suffering from stresses, and they are not able to cope up with those stresses. They are not able to bounce back from those stresses. So they build up and they can manifest into different kind of illnesses. So some may be mood disorder. I think you have all heard of depression. Depression is a mental health illness. And there is also anxiety, which is also really common among the youths. Then there comes eating disorder, which is also very common. So those, I would not go into depth about those illnesses because it might take a long time and we might not able to grasp most of the part which I'll be speaking. So I'll just keep it brief, and those are the few kind of mental health illnesses, right? So whenever we come across a cancer patient per se, a cancer patient, we sympathize with that person, right? Tai bimar ase, ayamam moram ase, we must show our support, we must show our solidarity to that person. Arumahan sob, we pray for that person, we support that person in our prayers, our verbally, our actions, all through it. In our society, we do that, don't we? But then when it comes to someone who is suffering mentally, why is it different? It's because our society has put up certain stigmas on those words. So we think that depression, anxiety is something that we can just snap out of it. Why? Any paro, just don't be sad. That's what we say. It's so easy to say, but that's not the case. I have a friend who has been suffering from depression, and from his experience, what he told me was, it is very hard for him to even do the small, basic chores or things we do in life. For example, taking bath. That is very hard for him. Sometimes it's like he cannot get up. He cannot find the will to live inside him. And that's how people with depression live their life. And I'm sure most of us here might know someone, or maybe we might be the one who is suffering, but then we don't speak up. So what I want you to all to do is, the best way to come out of it, to live a healthy life, is to speak out. The more you bottle it inside, the more it will, stay with you. And later on, it might explode in the things you may not like, or we may not like. So what triggers mental health issues? There might be many triggers, but one of the most important is also genetic factors. So we all know what genes is. It's something we carry on from one generation to other, our family genes, right? So this can also be passed down to if I was suffering from this kind of illness, for example, maybe a complex issue that is schizophrenia. Maybe I was suffering from it. There is a chance that my children or my grandsons might also be suffer from it later on. So mental health issues can be genetics. as well as abuse. I think most of us here as well has also gone through some kind of abuse in our life, be it physical abuse, be it verbal abuse, be it sexual abuse. It's something very common but not speaked about. And those abuse, when it's not treated, when we have faced those kind of incidents and when it's not being treated properly, we are not able to tell it to people, we keep it to ourselves, and those can also manifest into illnesses, mental health issues. And then also comes our life experiences, our traumas that we face, like childhood traumas, or those things, our environmental factors are also some of the triggers for mental health issues. I had someone in my life who was suffering from clinical depression as well as generalized anxiety disorder. So when I knew about it, I asked her to go and speak it out, to consult a professional, a therapist, or perhaps a counselor, psychiatrist. So, but then she was a little hesitant. But then later on, I found out that she reached out to her family about it. But what her family did was, obviously, as a Christian state, we seek out to very religious platforms for our issues. I myself do that too, but then we must also realize that certain issues need medical help. So they took her to a local church, and then later on, the local church, they prayed for her, they accused her, saying that it was the lack of faith in Christ that is making her suffer. And what I think is, this is also very wrong. We must stand firm in our faith, of course, but also, just like we are suffering from physical health, cancer, you seek out to professionals. That's exactly what we should do with mental health issues. So instead of being a support group, encouraging her to seek out medical help, or in just simple supporting her and showing sympathy towards her, caring for her, accusing her is not something we should be doing. And this might also be very relatable to most people here. So those are the kind of stigmas. That is why people are not able to speak out about their illnesses. They face a lot of discriminations. They face a lot of stigmas. They face a lot of, just verbal abuse from the people around when they speak about their challenges. What we as a society must do is sympathize with those who are suffering. We must care for those who are suffering, be kind with our words. Small actions can change a person's life. Maybe your small act of kindness can change a person's day, might make them very happy, or might also make their life much better. So I hope most of us here present would be able to show that small act of kindness wherever we go. All right, I have something written. I want you all to speak it out with me, not just for the sake of saying it, but believe it and say it with me. Can you do that? All right. Loud and clear, so that you don't speak it out for the people, but you speak it out for yourself. Mental illness is not a choice. Mental illness is not attention seeking. Mental illness is not an insult. Mental illness is not a flaw in character. Mental illness is not laziness. Mental illness is not funny or a joke. Mental illness is not less important than other illnesses. Thank you very much for saying those. One last thing before I wind up is to share with you some few things you can do to improve your mental health. First, spend time with Mother Nature. We, as the people of Nagaland, we are blessed with abundance of nature around us. Seek peace in those places, and you can also do physical exercises. A healthy body, a healthy mind. That's what I believe. You eat healthy, maintain a healthy diet, and also one most important thing is whatever you are feeling, don't keep it to yourself, vent it out. If you don't have anyone to vent it out to, if you don't have a support group, friendship, which is strong enough that you can vent it out to, you can journal it. And by journaling, I don't mean that you just write a few poetic lines about what you're feeling. Not that. You can just scribble, you can jot down whatever you're thinking, maybe drawing, a sketch. Those are also journaling. You can do that. That will free up the spaces in your mind. And lastly, stop negative talk. I think we all do that. I myself also sometimes, but then those thoughts will manifest into reality, will manifest into actions. That is why negative talking is really bad. Try to affirm yourself with positive talk, treat yourself with kindness. And seeking therapy is not a sign of weakness, but a sign of strength. Remember that. If you are the one who needs therapy and you know that, go seek it out. Our district hospitals, those provide free mental health checkups. You can avail those, or also there are online platforms where you can reach out to professionals. And also, if you know anyone in your family, in your community, in your friend group who needs therapy, you should encourage them. Tell them that it is not a sign of weakness, but a sign of strength. It is courageous for you to stand up for yourself and wanting to become better, a better person. We all want to live a fulfilling and healthy life, don't we? And that is how we would try to foster a community, that we would be able to foster a community where negativity does not live. And everyone is equally respected and everyone is given equal importance. Whatever you have learned here today, I want you all to spread it out to the people around you so that we can create those small ripples in our society that will create a big wave, and it will wash down the stigmas and discriminations that are prevailing in our society. 70% of people who are a victim of substance abuse also suffers from mental health issues. And that is what Hikali would be speaking about, substance abuse. So that's how we linked up our projects together. We earn the life we are meant to live by fighting for it. I hope that you would all be brave enough, you will all be courageous enough to fight for the life you are meant to live. I wouldn't say it would be easy, it would be hard, but it would be worth it. And that brings us to the conclusion of my session. And we got some comments that why is Nikitono Sachu, our reigning Miss Nagaland, is not coming. As most of you might be knowing that she recently represented Nagaland in Miss Grand India. She has been suffering she has not been feeling well, and there has been some problems in her life also. So she was not able to join us for phase 1, but I'm sure she will be joining us for the next phases. And yeah, she sends her regards to all of you. And that brings me to the conclusion. Thank you very much. Oshkim Tivane.